Joe.
Black Killa.
Watch our IT, taking it back, way back. And I ain't talking about just rap. Videos, interviews, real talk, Chicago news, ill stay, trendsetter, Teflon up to the core. You can tell what we about. We step your foot up in our house. And once you done watching this, go line and check Chicago Cookout. We own, yeah, we own. Cause ain't no such thing as halfway shows. We own, yeah, we own. So tuned in to get tuned out. You know what to do now. We own, yeah, we own. We own, yeah, we own. We own, we own.
Joe.
Black Killa.
A lot of artists compromise they artistry because of popularity. What's popular in music? Nobody wants to change the climate of music nowadays. A lot of people don't. I'm not gonna say all, because you do have really good artists that go out there and make a difference. But a lot of artists just want to, like I said before, like imitate what's going on now and, you know, put out this product. And, you know, they kind of forced to, because, you know, they got a lot of labels and management like, yo, you got to always out scene. You know, and I feel a victim of it too. Like, you know, like when I feel like, yo, artists I was dealing with was like, I'm like, oh, you know, you putting out music like this, man, we need a song just like this. And that's what the business, like, yo, he's hot, the Migos hot. You got to put out a song like Migos. We want a turn up song like that. You know, then you got people like when Nicki Minaj came out, oh my God. It's like, man, like you had niggas biting her style.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, and now it's like everybody got to come out like Nicki. Every artist got to come out sexual like that. Like, and I mean, think about it. Like Nicki, they was comparing her to Kim. So, like, they was even trying to make her a carbon copy of somebody else. Like, so it wasn't like she had her own identity either. But like, I'm like listening to her, I'm like, yo, she don't sound like her. She, like, looking at it from a marketing point of view, the differences between her, like, yeah, I think she was paying homage. I think when she paid homage with that first pose of her squatting, like, people was like, oh man, she biting Kim, she want to be new Kim, like this and this. Like, I wasn't hearing her flow. She wasn't, Kim was the more pronounced, the elongated words. She was the more fast. She almost had the sniping Chicago style of flowing, you know, like a lot of her early stuff. Like, you didn't really fan Kim, but people just wanted that like beef and wanted that comparison so bad. They was like trying to force that on, Nikki trying to be Kim. And it like, nah, she just paying homage. You know, it was like, I worked the poster. I know how niggas was stealing that little Kim poster. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. Like, my cousin wanted to take it off my wall back in the day. So she was paying homage. It was a good marketing ploy. I don't even think it's cash money. I think Nikki is a brilliant marketeer. Like Kanye is brilliant, and his marketing is not the machine behind them. It's that 50 Cent. I used to drive the Reebok truck, but we used to call it the unit truck because 50 Cent stayed on the truck. That was one of my promo trucks. And meeting him and talking to his management, like, I remember they would tell me, like, 50, he was an A-class artist, was doing the Massacre, the second album, and was still doing promo runs. Coming into the marketplace, shaking hands and kissing babies. I will never forget that effective marketing. We met at the Universal branch, and he played the whole Massacre album, talked about it, told us what he was, and at different points of the album and things of that nature. And then you have to think, like, when he being this candid and honest and open, he had to do that for radio interviews. He had to do that for video interviews, and he had to do that for us and all these different markets he going to. That's a lot on an artist. That's a lot to commit to for an artist. And then his management would tell us how many millions of dollars each day he was losing by going on a promo run, but how important that run was to him. Like, when they gave us that number, like how he was finna tour with Limp Bizkit, and they had all these plans that they had to put on hold because 50 wanted to go on a promo run. He like, yo, he missing like $8 million a day by going up. I'm like, $8 million a day? I would hope to make that in a lifetime, and he missing that in a day. And you would think, like, man, can't nobody be missing that type of money. But you got to figure all the endorsement deals he had, the touring that he was supposed to do, to this, to that, his day-to-day businesses with G-Unit and his other brands and subsidiaries, like, that he was not paying attention to by going on these promo runs. But that sacrifice. And he was a millionaire at this time. He was well into $100 million. And some of you artists won't even go on a promo run, and y'all not even thousandaires. Y'all ain't even seen $10,000, but won't support your own product? That's crazy. When these niggas, man, I see a hustle from people in these other markets, man, I swear, like, why do y'all think so much music come from Atlanta to Chicago? All that music, the Trinidad James, all the popular music that's popular, the Migos, the Rich Homie Quans, all that music get popular in Atlanta and funnels down here. And so little music from Chicago is popular here and funnels to the South. We don't have that chitlin circuit like they got. Like, I barely hear music. Like, I travel a lot, and I barely hear music that I hear here in Rockford, in Peoria. I barely hear it. I barely hear them playing that music in the club. And like, we an hour and a half to 2 hours away from this market. I go in a different market and I ask them about artists in my market, and they don't even know who they are.
I think they doing what they feel to generate an income. Like, nah, they not doing what they want to do. Especially, you know, all these artists is getting shelved all these goddamn years. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really ain't doing what they want because they trying to do what they want. You know what I'm saying? That's why they getting their ass shelved. But nah, man, these guys ain't on nothing, man. They putting out a few joints. And then they letting everybody else dictate how they go do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the drilling shit is popping right now. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to drill too. You know, half of these people ain't drilled a goddamn nail in the bed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, man. You know, I ain't.
What about Killa Clint? Is Killa Clint doing what he wants to do?
Killa Clint is doing what he want to do right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. It's fun right now. Me and my homie was just talking about we having fun with this music shit. We trying to make it happen. Of course, we trying to get known on the national level. You know what I'm saying? So it's all go. We got you know, minor little stepping stones. You know what I'm saying? Of how we doing it, but they go fuck with it.
Can you see how, let's say, as an artist that wasn't as secure with his material as you are, how they could let the wind, which direction the wind blow dictate how they gonna
you know,
do what they say?
They gotta step their bars up. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they just need to step their bars up, man. You know what I'm saying? Talk about something that somebody trying to hear, or you know what I'm saying, like that's relevant in the hood, that's relevant to your life. Don't be trying to lie, going off for everybody else because they drilling, doing what we doing. You know, we over here on 75th and Dobson right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hundreds. You know what I'm saying? Like we comfortable to go where, you know what I'm saying? That's what we doing. Step your bars up, man. You know what I'm saying? Then it might, you know, be a little better. I mean, I'm doing what the fuck I want to do, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of. I think it's a lot of people out here that's going with a format that they think that's a format of success or what's gonna get them closer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, it's a lot of dudes out here that's not hardcore that's trying to be gangsters. You know, everybody want to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody want to do the stripper songs, and you know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a little tiring. At least like years ago, it was a balance. You know, like, and like you could tell individual, but now it's like everybody kind of like molding into the same shit. Yeah, that's what I don't like about it.
Joe, Black Killa, Dobson Mars. I just had to get this off my chest, cause niggas got to feel how I feel.
Same reason that they don't go out and vote. Same reason that they won't get a job. Same reason that they got their pants hanging off their asses. They following. Everybody following somebody. I guarantee you can put me in a room with 100 people and I can have it staged where one dude break and run, drop a bottle and run. I guarantee you that crowd is gonna follow. Don't know what happened, but they gonna follow. It ain't nobody looking to see what's really going on. Nobody trying to figure out what's going on. We got a generation of followers, man. Nobody wants to take the lead.
Wow.
You ask, are artists doing what they truly want to do, or are they doing what they think they need to do? Pretty much. It's a little of both. They want to rap. They want to MC, whatever the case may be, and they're doing it. However, the music business is so influential. The person sitting in the king's chair is often imitated by those who want to be kings. So there was a time where a lot of people, like we were just talking about a little earlier, you know, they wore the big gold chain and the Timberlands because Nas was #1 or whatever, so they thought they wanted to be that way. It's no different than today. KRS-One once said, in my philosophy, he was kind of breaking it down. He was like, we're gonna get to the point where everybody's rapping for the king. And that's where we kind of at right now. So and I know I be around a lot of artists, and I'm gonna keep it 100. A lot of artists are conflicted as they're rapping those words out of their mouth, because they saying, I wanna be relevant and I wanna be current. These are exact words. I wanna be relevant, I wanna be current, and I don't wanna be old, so I'm not gonna do what I really, really had in mind. I'm gonna do what I think is gonna catch people's attention, because it's already been billions of dollars getting people attention with this particular thing. And they make up all sorts of good cliches to believe in for this. I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel always been around. However, when the wheel first dropped, it was probably made out of stone. But somebody decided, I wanna put a rubber around it. Somebody said, I want to put an inner tube around it and put air around it. Okay, it's still the wheel. You don't have to reinvent it. You feel me? So, but at the same token, I think a lot of people are pressured, because you got to think of this. They homies might say, man, do what you feel like doing. Or they might say, do what you feel like doing. Or they woman might say, do what you feel like doing. But it's billions of dollars to tell them to do what's popping. And I personally think that's putting a noose around your neck, because things go in cycles. When the tastemaker sit down and say, this is what's gonna pop this year, if you spent your money and your budget and all of your little movements are doing what popped last year, when that shit die, guess who's dying with it?
Right now, with the levels of the government we have right now, that actually we vote them in and they vote us out, sometimes we're forced to do what we have to do. I mean, there is no experimentation when it comes to investing your money into yourself, because time ain't waiting for nobody. So we can't sit up there and just say, okay, well, I'm gonna do an experimental album. Most of us is not bagged up to do an experimental album, do an experimental shirt, or nothing. Nothing is experimental right now, because everything has to come to the table. And if it's not coming to the table and making sense, what's the point of doing it right now? It ain't like this the 80s when money was flowing everywhere. You gotta think about it. Police is on every block now. And nobody's getting money like they supposed to be getting money, because of the gun wars and now everybody getting shot, and the police, every superintendent trying to cut down on this and cut down on that. The borders is all messed up. So it's kind of hard for people to experiment doing anything. We have to do what we have to do that we know is right, or else why are we doing it?
So a majority of the artists are doing whatever they think will generate that income, right? What they're doing is they're trying to do whatever's hot so that they can be that one-hit wonder, get a quick few $100,000 and that's it. And buy them some drugs and go to jail like everybody else, right? Get shot or something and end up in the papers, right? But then you have those artists that really could care less about, you know, conforming. I don't care to be on Hot 97 or 92.3 or none of those stations. I don't care for all of that. I got a big internet-based following. My internet-based following, if you hit my YouTube, I got 25,000 or 100,000 listeners on YouTube checking me out all the time, right? So why do I care if I'm being played in this city? Eventually this city's gonna catch up to me. And they're gonna follow me because everybody's demanding me, and when I come to the show to do local performances in that town, I'm packing it in with 400-500 people that's trying to see me and that's paying to see me. That's literally paying to see me because of my internet swag, you know what I mean? So it don't matter. You know, in the end, you know, skip a radio, skip trying to conform if you can. Now, if all you know is conforming and that's what you do, then, you know, so be it. That may be your forte. You conformed in school because you had to be a part of the crowd. You conformed at work because you wanted to kiss the boss ass to get ahead. You conform in front of your friends because you a yes man. And now you conforming in music because you want to do whatever it takes that's going to get you on. Some people are just built like that.
I think I had to take the latter on that. Artists have definitely, you know, a lot of artists I see taking the latter on doing what they feel will generate income. And just the biggest misconception in today's music industry is that there's this money that exists you know, for being able to flat out just for rapping. And these facades that are created where an artist appears to be wealthy, and it somehow convinces other artists to appear to be wealthy, you know, even in the case where it hasn't even worked for the artist that they're looking at. It's crazy because, like, you can have an artist that, say, looks up to, let's just say, Joe Blow, rapper Joe Blow, or you gotta say that. You can say looks up to rapper Young Jeezy, and you know what? I see him flexing. I see him doing this thing. I'm gonna do like him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have the Bentley or the look and create a facade that appears to be his facade, so that I'm able to generate some income for myself. While all the time, they haven't even spent any money with Jeezy. Like, so I don't understand. Like, it hasn't even convinced you to be a consumer, but yet you think it will convince others to be a consumer. That always kind of tweaks me out. You know what I'm saying? But so I think that that happens way too often. So, but I think it's really just about, without sounding, hopefully, you know, not sounding cliche, but just staying true to yourself. And I think that you know, it's realizing what your strong suit is. You know, and there's this rap world. It's a ton of seats in entertainment. It's a ton of seats. You know, and behind the mic is I mean, it's a cool one. You know, for those who want to do it, but it's the toughest seat. And don't be so prideful to try to force yourself into that field. And, you know, for all the people watching all that I've discussed, man, we black men, any black man in America didn't wrote a rap before. So, you know what I mean? We all didn't gave that a shot, but, you know, just all about realizing what lane is for you. You know what I mean? And making sure it's one you believe in.
Joe,
Black Killa.
Dobson Mars.
I just had to get this off my chest, cause niggas got to feel how I feel.
I feel like, yes, some artists have compromised. In order to get with a major label that can take your talent for where it is, you have to do what you have to do to get in the door. So therefore, yes, you can have some creative sense, but on the other hand, it's going to be polished, so that way it can promote, it can, you know, expand, it can take, you know, it to the next level. The difference, like we were talking about earlier, of our young men listening to Chief Keef and industry rappers. They said that we applaud them for, you know, having the ability to get to the next level, to tell our story, you know, nationwide. However, I was watching Lala Anthony where Poe, you know, wanted to just be her. However, she was very disappointed because when she signed with a label, they end up telling her, you know what, you're going to have to do it this way, and that way. And so, you know, she goes back, she says, Lala, you know, why, you know, I didn't know it was going to be like this. She was like, well, you know what you have to do right now. You know, just go ahead and go with the flow. You can, you know, add a little bit of you, but then when you get in deep, then you can make the changes that you need to make. So you see Beyonce, she took it to another level with her last album. She did it on her own without anybody telling her how she should do it, the way she should do it, so she could, and it hit. So there are people that compromise. There are rappers that compromise who they are to sell a dollar. But as long as you keep the mission at hand of what you're doing it for, then you do it to, some people will say you fake it till you make it. And once you make it, then you know what I'm saying, bring that positive influence in a creative way to where is it, you know, impacts, you know, our young men and women.
It's 50-50. I mean, you have some artists who don't care what people think and don't care about the music they create because it's good for them. But then you also have certain artists that say, I'm gonna do this type of song, I'm gonna do that type of song because of my fans. I want them to hear this, I want people to hear that. So it's pretty much 50-50. But there are some artists that really can care less if one person or 30,000 people show up to the arena. They still gonna rock out for that one person that believed in what they believed in as far as music goes. But it's really 50-50.
Now, with you being how long have you been producing? What year would you say you started producing music professionally?
I got my first placement in 2002 on Do or Die's Back to the Game album that was on Rap-A-Lot Virgin. I had 2 records on that, so that was an official placement for me. So that's pretty much when I can say my professional career started.
Now, have you ever felt the pressure to kind of alter your production style to kind of keep up with what may be considered current?
Well, as a producer, it's always new technology, so you want to stay up on the latest sounds, the latest gadgets, the latest plugins. So you don't have to pretty much adjust your style, but you probably just want to stay current with what people are using, sound-wise and sonically, because you can have sound kits that are dated that'll make your music sound old. And if you want to continue to sell music as a producer or a songwriter, you have to kind of stay current, as well as keep your own individuality and your own creativity in your music.
Now, as a producer, how are you able to stay current as far as current sounds are concerned, seeing that things are always constantly in motion and changing?
You just have to buy a shitload of stuff, man. And you have to consult with other producers and consult with other engineers, and look at liner notes to see what credits and what person used on this song, what they used on that song. I talk to like Brian Michael Cox a lot. He's a well-known producer. He's actually out of Atlanta, and he always got something new. He always telling me the latest stuff. So it's just basically, saying, hey man, look what I got today, and seeing if they got it, like, different plugins, and you just pretty much, it's pretty much I could say it's a fellowship of people behind the scenes that's always talking about what's the latest technology in music production.
Now, when I first met you back in 2011, I noticed you had your Akai MPC professional sitting more up to, like, it was more in the forefront.
Yes.
It was more accessible, word I should use. But now I noticed that it's on the bottom shelf of your shelving system that you have. Now, did the progression with the technology, is that what made the is that what wound up having the MPC wind up on the bottom shelf?
Not necessarily, but it's basically about feel. Everybody use what they feel is best to them. And at the time when I was using MPC a lot, it's still a lot of people that's using MPC now, but I only use it for certain things like sampling and chopping up sounds if need be. But I like to see all the music on the screen and be able to chop and do what I need to do there, versus with the MPC you don't see anything. You just feel it out and you hear it as you create your bars. So as technology evolved to more digital, everything is pretty much, you can see everything. You can see all your vocals, you can see all your instruments, and it's better for me per se, because that's the way I like to create now. But I can't create like I used to when I was just solely on the MPC making tracks. Now there's still some people that's doing that, but is it obsolete? No. I mean, it's just a preference for me as a producer.
So have you found a particular, with the current technology, have you found something that would equal what the sample capabilities, or the, you know, just the feel of the pads and whatnot? Have you found that? Have you found an alternate version of that as far as digital wise?
It's not. I mean, not really. It's pretty much the same, but it's just the feel of it. Like the ARS-10 is a great keyboard to sample on, because if you sample on that keyboard, you could actually take the sound, and throughout the keys, you can actually play that sound in different notes. Yes, so a lot of people still use that. Kanye, he uses that a lot, but it just depends on what you feel. You see what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm not a sampling guy. I don't sample a lot of records. Anything I do, I probably replay it, unless the artist wants the actual sample, then I would do that. But it's just pretty much about the feel of it as a producer. You know, some people, it's more like analog versus digital. I know a lot of producers get me on that. If there are a lot of people who like the digital sound, there are a lot of people who like the analog sound, but they're everywhere. So it's just a preference again.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that you do got some people out here doing what they want to do creatively, but then again, once you become, especially if you get a record deal, once you become a recording artist, that's a job. You understand what I'm saying? And it might be a fun job, but at the end of the day, it's a job, and you work for somebody. So just like the average American, you know, when you go to work, like, you got to do what the boss tell you to do to get your check. You understand what I'm saying? But in a lot of cases, you know, it's not set up where rappers make an hourly wage. You understand what I'm saying? So in a lot of cases, it's a job, but it's more like a, you know, it's more like you got a business loan from a record company to make a record or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So now you're in debt, and you know, for the people out there watching, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of y'all know how it feels to be in debt. You know, whether you are, you know, because, you know, a lot of black people credit is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So, including mine. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, imagine you are $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $10 million in debt. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to go and make this music. And you are a certain type of artist, but you see these artists making money this way, right? And you're in debt to this record label, right? Now, at the end of the day, if you are worth anything to them, they're not gonna let you be broke. They'll let you go broke to owe them, but they won't let you be broke. So they'll loan you money to live off of, to buy things. You know what I'm saying? But once you get into that system and you really realize that you always gonna be behind the you know, you always gonna be in the red. You know what I'm saying? So what you want to do is get out the red. So it's pressure. Sometimes you can't get out the red making the music that you want to make. Sometimes the only way to get out the red is to compromise. You understand what I'm saying? And I personally think that every person is an individual. And being an individual, there is a way that you can give the real a piece of the real you and make it relatable to people that are not you or like you. And everybody just got to find that, you know. But a lot of people are not doing that. A lot of people just want to just say, fuck it, I'm going to make a song like Lil Wayne. Or, you know what I'm saying, fuck it, I'm going to make a song like Drake. You know, they don't want to take the time, or the record company won't give you the time that it'll take to come up with that record.
Basically, a cat saying what
yeah, thank you with the basically, cause you just threw my whole little, you know what I'm saying? I was on Jupiter, and then you came with them big old words, bro.
My bad. Basically, our cats doing what they want to do, or they doing what they think is gonna help them get on.
Man, people doing what they. Oh man, really? They doing both?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Now, what about that bounce you mentioned? You mentioned that bounce. Now, let's say a cat come out one way and he realized he ain't got that bounce and he ain't getting that bounce attention, so then he switch over to bounce, but that ain't really what he want to do, though.
Then you can't do the bounce wrong. Brother Foucault will tell you that. You got to do the bounce right. If you do the bounce wrong, then they going to bounce your ass. You got to bounce right, y'all. Don't do it at all. So you got to have it. You can't just, you got to have talent to do the bounce.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying. Do you think it's a lot of people that's just doing what they do, doing what they
to
think
get by? Yeah, I think 77% and 3/4% of people are. Yeah.
Why? Why you think they doing that?
Because I think they doing that because that's the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? Like they just want to do what somebody else did. If God bless you, people gotta understand. Like God, what's for you is for you. Like if something don't happen, it's probably not meant for you to happen that way. Like everybody ain't gonna get on the same way. So I don't condone bandwagon and all that. We do us.
Joe. Black Killa.
On a roll in the streets, A+ everything.
Right down the street where they killed them. Maurice where they sent them. Stopped them dead on the spot. Couldn't speak to the victim. I could speak on the system, but that's a typical story. I ain't preaching, I miss him. He get to kick you with Corey. Betty look over Kina. Say goodbye to Miss Alice. Butter Foucault with me though. Know these streets is a mess. Swear the picture is vivid. Ain't no point of complaining. I ain't tripping, I'm living. Had it all with a jerk. Jagged it off like I'm horny. It could all be worse. That's the truth, but it's corny. Pop a bottle for pop. Pour it out for my niggas. Only swallow Ciroc. These broke niggas is bitter. I ain't going nowhere. I'm in the hood like we Tim's. Produced by Beat Beast. Get ready to meet Sims. It's beautiful. Hey, gonna take you a picture. This my grandma's thing. Her baby little sister. This is streets. This the streets. This the streets. This the streets. Say it's beautiful. Hey, it's the brand with no filter. Nigga granddad spot. And right there with that kicker. This the streets. This the streets. This the streets.
We major. Fuck y'all niggas. Fuck y'all niggas.
Ain't no peace in the killing. At an all-time high. Ain't no heat in my building. Down the street from Obama. I ain't even ecstatic. Wish I was in position. All I do is imagine. They say my money was funny and I was selling my link. I went right back to the store. It's just a felon in me. These niggas jealous of me. Right down the block where they stay. It's like we beefing forever, but see I'm not finna play. I heard them people was on me right when my grandmama died. Rest in peace, Jetty B. I put my ass on the line. Don't condone it at all. I'm endorsing the streets. Putting food on my table. Least my daughter could eat. And it's beautiful, ain't it? I'll be damned if you differ. Came a long damn way without no dad in the picture. Look like he on the news. How come he looking happy? Cause DOC in the blue. That Crook County in khaki. Let's go. It's beautiful. Hey, gonna take you a picture. This my grandma's thing. Her baby little sister. This is streets. This the streets. This the streets. This the streets. Said it's beautiful. Hey, it's the brand with no filter. Nigga granddad spot. And right there with that kicker. This the streets. This the streets. This the streets. This the streets. EMG Studios. South DJ Honor. Stack Star. DJ Hustlenomics. Let's go. Let's go.
Joe. Black Killa. Joe. Black Killa.
Definitely generating what they feel to get an income, because if you think about it, if an artist could just switch it up a little bit and step out of their comfort zone instead of the jewelry and the bling and letting everybody know I made it or I got this money, I'm riding this, and just letting them know before you got those things where the struggle came from, I feel it would help a whole bunch. At the end of the day, you're gonna have those things if you're successful as an artist, so you don't have to push those things out there and show only those things. Show the struggle, show what happened before you got in tune with your rap career or before you moved into that nice house. Just show exactly where you came from, and being original, you always win.
I feel like it's the combination of both. You know, you can't never put the stigma on everybody. You know, so you can't put the stigma on everybody. But overall, I say yes. I feel like, you know, people see a pattern. I see it all the time. You know, before the whole Chief Keef and GBE thing popped, much respect to them because they held it down for the city, and a lot of people hate on the kid and the music that they make and everything, but they did what they were supposed to do. They made a buzz, they got a check, they only fucked with they niggas, and they put everybody in their circle on and created an opportunity for everybody in their circle, which a lot of people who came before them can't say they did, you know. So big shout out to Dirk and Keef and all of them, what they did for their squad and for their families and for their kids, and being able, you know, to support the city and themselves and their families off of that. But a lot of people before that, a lot of people was rapping one way. Once that shit dropped, I seen grown cats and niggas who never rapped like that change their whole style around, their whole life around. And I seen niggas grow dreads who done had bald fades their whole life after this shit happened. So yeah, I feel like people, it depends on what type of man you are outside of the music. I feel like if you let that influence you, like I need to hurry up and get to this check, then yeah, you will find yourself making the popular sound. But when you make that popular sound, you can't change your whole career to that. It's okay to put a foot in there and dibble in that because you want to stay relevant. You got to stay current. So yeah, make music that got that sound, but don't change your whole style and your whole focus to this sound of music, because everything has a turn and it's a yin for every yang too, you know. So while this might be popular, what you doing was winning, you know. The same time this happened, Kendrick Lamar and blossomed into, you know, a superstar, while this whole drill trap type of music was taking off, you know. So you can't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what I don't like, when artists put all their eggs in one basket, like, oh, this shit is popular, I want to sound like this now. And you really can't do that, because music is just good music regardless on what the sound is. You know, and right now the industry crazy as far as singles going up tempo and club and party, but look at Schoolboy Q, the studio record is probably the biggest record in the country at the moment, and that doesn't sound like any of the typical radio or rap songs you will hear at the moment, you know. So yeah, but I definitely think people change their shit up for the moment. But that don't get you far. That might have you hot today and missing tomorrow.
They're doing what they think and create an income. No one's out here doing what they feel no more, because they want to eat. They want to eat, and they see the crap rap is actually the way to eat, because that's what everybody is playing now. All day on the radio, you hearing bullshit, same 20 songs, over and over and over again. So they say, forget it, if I put this out here, it might hit or miss, but if I do this song like they doing it, I'm gonna get put on. So there's no more your feelings, what you want, and what you want to put out here and convey to people is, I'm gonna sound like such and such. And there it is.
Now, where do you think we had that change at, man? Because I remember back in the day, we would pride ourselves on not sounding like the next person.
The change came in when the South came in. Like I said, the South did not want to sound anything like East Coast nor West Coast. They wanted to represent the South and sound like shit, you know. I mean, that's just me. I don't care if people get mad at me. They dumbed down the whole process of what an MC is or what a lyricist does. You know, they want to do it their way. Casio drum machine, I mean, you know, Casio keyboards and drum machines, very minimal, no real production value or quality behind their work. It's just simpleness easiness, there it is. So that's how it came about.
I think in this day and age, the beauty of modern technology and the beauty of the independence of modern technology is like, now I think artists have more creative control than they ever had in music, because you don't need a label to put out music and be successful and make money at it and win awards at it. You can do that all by yourself now. And so that of course gives you more creative control than ever. You still have some artists who don't see that, but that's a matter of educating themselves about the business. So now it's boiling down to how educated do you want to be about it, and how much do you want to research the business. Because if you research it enough, you would know that this is probably the more than ever now you have creative control, because you don't have to answer to anybody, because you have the tools now in your home, and you can go and buy them and put them in your home and make hit records out of your house. So at this day and age, like there's more creative control than ever, and it's a blessing. It's just a matter of how much you want to educate yourself in the business.
Let me give you a scenario. Let's take, for example, you have a well-rounded artist like yourself. Not speaking of you personally, but an artist, let's say, that's the mirror image of your talents and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, seeing that Chicago right now, we've gone through several musical changes as far as rap music is concerned over the past 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we're in this drill music phase.
Yeah.
Now, let's say we have an artist that, like I said, mirrors your talent capability.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not really getting the love from the masses, showing what he wants to show or projecting what he wants to project.
Right.
So he decides to do a drill song, and he's really not expressing himself how he would normally express himself. I'm not going to say dropped it a notch, but he's almost created an alternate version of himself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about a scenario, an artist like that? Because I do believe that they are out there. And there are a lot of artists that are in conflict with themselves, talent-wise and music-wise, because of the business.
I was talking with somebody the other day, and they said something really dope, and it's gonna resurface here. I'm about to say it now. One of the greatest books I ever read was the Bible, and one of the things that makes it a great book was how it framed its central character. Right, framing is so important. Like, I'm sure if we go back to biblical times, like if we took a time machine and went back to those times, there'll be opinions about Jesus Christ, like, and some will be great, and then some will be like, yeah, you know, like, because everybody had their own experience with him, and some people's experience was really positive, and some people's experience, because they were trying to do whatever they were trying to do, is negative with Jesus, because he was getting away with that. He would stop that. Like, but none of us were there at the actual events, but the way the book framed those events and brought you that character gives you the idea that you have now, and that's why it's such a great book. You can make the records you want to make, especially again in these days and times. You can make the records you want to make. You can make any record you want to make, and people will love it. It's all a matter of how you frame that record so that people can view it. So you don't necessarily, if drill isn't you don't have to make it. You can make the record that is in you. And if you frame it and if you put it out there right, if you frame it right, people are gonna love it. People love the way music is framed. Right? It's always like, because people remember their favorite song, and what they remember is what they were doing the day that they heard that song for the first time. It's all about how it was framed and how it hit them. Even artists that are drill on the inside, like that's the music they made because that's the environment that they grew up in. They still have to frame it so that people can understand that that's really them. It's all about finding unique and innovative ways to promote that record and market that record and get it out there. It's framing. It's like a child. Like everybody is having fun with the conception of the child, but there's part two. There's raising the child so that it becomes an adult. Your songs are like that. They're like children. It's like you're not done once you've created the record in the studio. The record's not done yet. You have to promote it, or else it's dead. It doesn't move. And, you know, they say if you're not growing, you're dying. So it's like, you know, it's all about framing. You don't have to conform. You just have to find a way to take your music and put it out. And once you put it out, the beautiful thing is once you put it out, then it's out and it's successful, and it is the new sound. And you didn't have to change to do that. You know, it's all about framing.
Wow. Man, artists today, and you know, I hate to put things in labels and categorize, but I think that question forces you to have to define the types of artists, right? So your underground artists, your artists who are doing it for the love of music, for the love of hip hop, for the love of just their creativity, that refuse to compromise. You know that there are artists like that in the city of Chicago and beyond who don't compromise and who probably have missed out or passed up or never even sought the deals with the major record labels because they never considered going in the route where they could be compromised. And of course, you know, we've seen the stories, we've heard from artists, both present and past, who've talked about projects being on the shelf by the major record labels because they're not pushing the type of music that they want. We've heard, I mean, you can go from the straight up facts of what people have said to the conspiracy theories of what has been said about the music industry and who's in control and who is trying to push a hidden agenda to encourage the foolishness that you see in the community. When you look at artists, you do have that duality, of course. Artists, like every individual, is not perfect. They have their flaws, they have their high points, they have their high morals, they have their weaknesses, and so of course you may hear both of those in their music. But when their creativity is stifled, it usually is because somebody else that is either controlling their paycheck or has them in a contract has said, we want you to put music that'll go along with this hook that we've already created, and that hook is not something that they would normally do. You know, we've heard Nas say that, we've heard Lupe say that, so, and it goes on and on from there.
That's 50-50. It's kind of like the workforce. You have some people that actually know exactly what they want to do in life and they pursue that, and then you have the people that go to school, they study hard, they become a doctor, they have no true passion for healing, they just want to make money. So, you know, with that being said, it's 50-50. You're going to have some artists that's going to do whatever they want to do, and they really don't care if they make money, but, you know, they eventually will, because you never chase money. The money will come. If you do anything long enough and have true passion, the money's going to come. But then you have the artist that's going to try to mimic what's popular, that's not really true to themselves, to try to make a quick buck.
Okay.
It's the sellouts.
Sellout. So let's expand on that sellout again. Now, what is your definition of the word sellout?
Say for instance, I come to you guys, and I'm a musician, and I play the violin and I rap. You as a record exec say, nah, I have something a little bit different for you. We're gonna replace that violin with a 40 ounce, and we're gonna put a big chain on you, and you're gonna become, you know, MC Blase Skip. A sellout would say, man, all right, whatever I gotta do to make this money. That's a sellout. And somebody that's truly passionate about what they're gonna do is say, I'm not prepared to do that, maybe I'm not a good fit here, and they walk out and they turn their back, you know what I mean, on whatever amount of money, because they're thinking long term.
Is it better for an artist to produce and distribute their work as an independent, or be signed under a major label?
Me personally, as a businessman, would always say the independent route will always and forever be the best way, because a record deal, in a sense, is someone loaning you money. So if I loan you money, I'm loaning you money to collect interest. Versus being independent, if I take my initial $5,000 and I purchase X amount of CDs and I sell those CDs for X amount of money, I get all of that return comes back to me. So therefore, I benefit. Master P was probably one of the first people to truly master the art of doing. He was getting like $8, $9 a CD. Sell $1 million, that's $9 million. Versus, you know, TLC, that sold millions and millions of dollars. And they was getting like 50 cents a quarter, something like that. And they were on it, you know, and they had a major record deal. So it's up to you and what type of paperwork you sign. Everything is negotiable.